Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Tarter Sauce here at pjstar.com. With me today, Robert Johnson, Sr. Robert, thank you for coming on here. Robert's, how long have you been on the Peoria Park Board?
Since 1995.
So you've been on there a little while. So
yes.
Experienced trustee at the Park District, also a lifelong resident of the south side of Peoria.
That's correct. That's correct.
One of the things we wanted to bring up, and we'll just start with this, Robert. We were at a meeting together, a room full of people, talking at Southside Mission last week, talking about the impact on what to do about closing of Kroger stores in the area. One at Madison Park, another one on the East Bluff. What do you make of that? I mean, how big an impact is that on the south end?
Steve, it is. It's I must tell you, it has a huge impact. We went through this when we, when Aldi's left.
Right.
We had Aldi's down there on the south side on Western Street, and everybody's in uproar. When Aldi's left, they decided to leave. They was going to rebrand their stores, and so they left. And so here we thought, well, we got Kroger's anyway. We can still go up to Kroger's, and we'll see if we can make it work. And then we went around and trying to get different other people to come in to Walmart. I mean, not Walmart, but into Aldi's.
Yeah.
Well, then Save-A-Lot come along, and they came, and they come down, and all, but they was only there. It just seemed like we didn't wink your eye. Next thing you know, they were
going to say less than a year.
Yes,
yeah.
They decided they wanted to leave also. And then we were like, wow. So it was an impact. Save-A-Lot, I think they didn't, some of the food, the vegetables and stuff wasn't fresh. They was talking about the people that would go there. And I went there a couple of times myself, my wife, but the value of it was there, but it wasn't enough, just some of the things they didn't have and things of that nature. So, and they had security. People said, well, they were down there stealing and they were doing. That's not true. I just wanted, that was not a problem with theft or anything like that. Everybody always want to say that first thing,
right? But
that wasn't the case. And they had security there too. But just like Aldi's, that wasn't a problem. Just that the type of food there.
So what does that mean now for the area? Because you hear the expression "food desert," and obviously Peoria is not the only community that has this. Chicago certainly has the vast stretches that are not served by a grocery store. What do you see as happening in that absence?
Well, one thing, I don't think Kroger's, they've been there over 61 years, I guess, at Madison Park, and about 57 years, I guess, on Wisconsin. I've been living there, like I said, I've been here all of my life in Peoria. But one thing that I found on the south side of Peoria is that the numbers of residents is dwindling. Drastically. Resources is not there anymore. As you can recall, the 24/7 Wall Street piece came out that Peoria was the worst city for African Americans to live. Even in my own family, my own kids who have since grown now have left Peoria. A couple of them, the one son has already moved away to Kentucky area where he was able to find a good job. The population, as I was stating there, I went to Manual High School. Between 300 to 500 kids, maybe 400 to 500 kids was in my graduating senior class alone, just when I graduated.
Right.
I don't even think there's that many kids total at Manual now, but the school, and they've added a 7th and an 8th grade there. And the population of the kids there is just, it's sad that the numbers of people are leaving.
And that's a huge area.
Yes.
South side.
South side of Peoria. And so what does that tell me in terms of people going to the store? Those people going to buy groceries and when the population is like that. We were Southside Community United for Change is an organization that we have started on the South Side where instead of having every neighborhood association having their own meeting, what we did was all the neighborhood associations came together as one.
Right.
We meet every third Saturday at the Lincoln Branch Library. And we talk about issues that's affecting us on the South Side of Peoria. Habitat for Humanity, for instance. They're building homes, helping low-income people get homes and things of that nature. Not one house that they want to build on the South Side, just to help people get homes. Now, MeTech, back I think in 2014, they helped homeowners get down payments for the houses. They placed 82 families, about $7.2 million they had to get their own homes. Only 2 of those homes was on the South Side of those 82 families. And, things like that, those kind of figures. When you come to a neighborhood, I look over there on the at the warehouse district now.
Right.
Down there on Washington Street, Water Street. We're trying to get the people to move back downtown in Peoria, which is good. I think that's healthy. Get businesses come back down. I look at the infrastructure there now, the new sidewalks, the infrastructure, the lighting, and all of those type of things. When neighborhoods look like that and have good infrastructure, resources being brought in from the city, that have people the desire to want to move to an area. And that's why, as a Park District trustee, even not just the South Side, but as the Peoria as a whole, we want to have things that people can come, good parks. We try to protect those parks and make sure that people have good recreation, golf, and so good quality of life issues.
Right.
That's important to any community. When people are looking at a community, they want to know what they can do, what type of parks you have, a zoo, what can we take our kids?
We have really good parks here.
And we do, and we try to preserve them. That's one of the reasons why we were so up in uproar about the river. They wanted to build these apartments down there on the riverfront.
Oh yeah, right.
Certainly, we weren't in agreement with that. We're giving away good green space. And I thought about a couple years ago when Walgreens came to us up at right next door to Kroger's.
And by Madison Park?
At Madison Park, they offered us almost $1 million for a half an acre of land. $1 million. You can't put money, a value on parks. Right. That park has been there. Peoria Park District is 100 years old. It's the oldest park district in the state of Illinois. Madison Park has been up there 100 years, just like it looked. And for us to come in and sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
No, granted, maybe, I don't know, Kroger's, they want to be in there. Kroger's a good business. I mean, it brings tax money to the county. I know the county is going to be losing close to $280,000, $200,000 estimate of tax money because Kroger's is leaving from up there. Those, I mean, that's important. But right now, the south side of Peoria is going through a change. Now, not only that, the unemployment rate among African Americans, low-income people is what, 15.8%? Twice as high as that of whites.
I was going to say it's higher than the average.
So that tells me people are not employed. Poverty, District 150 is experiencing, 70% poverty rate in District 150 schools. So we have some issues. And then the city they say that they put a lot of resources in the city. One of the highest resources, if you want to count the riverfront area, if you want to count that, that would be a lot of resources been put there. That's true. But did the people benefit from the neighborhoods?
Well, what would you like to see? Because obviously, this, and we'll get to the Park District too, because you guys had to make some tough choices recently, last year, in terms of budget. City has also been cutting back. What do you think is doable or viable for the South Side, for the city of Peoria?
One thing I think we could do some resource sharing. I think if the school district and the park district and the county board and all of these governmental bodies would come together, and we all serving the same people basically. And if we're spending our money and using our dollars wisely to some of the things, I think if we could share things
like a joint project,
I think we could get a lot done. I mean, the park district, for instance, with the Riverplex, when they came to us, the city there, they said that we built that down there. We we partner with with OSF.
Right.
They helped us, with some dollars and things, and then because of that, all citizens was able to come there. We was able to scholarship people that couldn't afford to come and recreate. So I think if we work together, the city owns certain plots of land, the park district owns certain things, the county, and if we come together and work and partner with each other and look at all our problems instead of this is mine over here.
Yeah, everyone doing their own thing.
This is my thing over here. But we still serving the same people. We all still got to live here.
That's a great idea, and obviously, to get that happening, it has to be talked about. We have to have that coming from Park Board, from the city and the county and everywhere else.
So this is Peoria, and Peoria is my home. And I want to see Peoria be successful. Right. I'm sure you want to be
absolutely.
Successful. I'm sure everybody wants to, because we live here. This is our home. Now, grant you, I was not happy with Kroger's decision. They said financially, it's about the dollars. They didn't have the people. But we don't have the people. The people are leaving from the south side, and I think we need to, as well as East Bluff. Up there, they have a little bit more, I think a little bit more stable community in that area. But I really do think resources, infrastructure is very important. It took me 2 years to get a light in my neighborhood.
Like an
Street
light.
light. 2 years to get that done. It was dark. A shooting that took place, and if I wanted to describe the person or tell them what they looked like or give them some description of a car,
couldn't do it.
I couldn't see. You know, I mean, things just like a safety issue.
Right.
And, you know, I've been talking with the Uric and different ones about it. Denise Moore is doing a lot what she can do. I mean, she's got her hands. I mean, she has the most challenging district. She really does. I mean, but she's come a long way. She's trying to get some things done. I have to give her you know, her kudos for what she's gotten done. But and all the other city council people in the first district.
Right.
You know, from mud all the way up, you know. So it's been a challenge. But we can overcome those challenges. We would just be mindful of the population that you're dealing with.
Right.
Another thing that bothers me more than anything else, for every 100,000 whites that's incarcerated, 225 are white. For every 100,000 African Americans in the city, I mean not in the city, but in the country, 1,408 of these gentlemen are incarcerated. You know, it's
total imbalance.
It's totally unbalanced. I mean, we need to there need to be some justice, some prison reform. When they come out, they need to, you know, with these jobs being available. It's just sad. The education system needs to be improved. We need to work with District 150 to make District 150 one of the best schools that there is, public school system that we can have, so that these kids can be educated, so they can go on to college. The mayor started the Promise program. I thought was Pure Promise, which I thought was great. That District 150 kids, they come through District 150 school, they can go on to ICC for 2 years. I mean, I thought that was, you know, momental. He talks about a job program that he did with the youth, but it's just 8 weeks, you know.
Summer program.
But it kept them busy. You know, I don't know what type of trade they learned, but if we had more of that, I mean, my wife did a program similar to that herself. Got funding, and because she teaches at District 150, but you know, live on the South Side. But you know, just getting $5,000, I mean, you can get quite a few kids and pay them $100 a week.
And that sounds like, just from what you were saying, like one area where you get county, city, 150, Park District all involved. A job program might be just a nice starting point.
Just a good starting point, you know, particularly with our youth.
Yeah.
And to making sure that they can, you know, at least get a little bit more stable. And you'd be surprised that when I get people telling me for a vacation for them or a good time for some of the families living in the inner city, just going to the park and having a barbecue out there, not too far from their home, is the most they're probably getting towards a vacation, where some other go to Florida or Disney World or to the St. Louis Zoo or something. You know, it's just mind-boggling.
I always remember, speaking of that, this is the beauty of youth. It's been 2 years, I guess. My granddaughter was 3 or 4 at the time, but we took her down. It was one of those warm winter days. We took her down to the courthouse where they have the lights.
Oh, yeah.
And it was empty. It was nothing going on, no Santa, nothing. She ran around there like she was in Disneyland, because just you got that enthusiasm when you're little.
When you're little.
Yo, look at the lights, look at this. And you know, of course, couldn't keep up with her. But it's like we somehow need to capture that enthusiasm
again
and spread it around, because one of the, I know it had to be a difficult time for you in your many years on the park board, but we here at the paper unfortunately had to write stories about some of the cuts that were made, which struck some people as, wow, you didn't know it was that bad, or wow, we're talking about Lakeview Aquatic Center. The golf course has been an ongoing issue.
Yes.
And for a while there, the fireworks display, Glen Oak Park, was hanging in the balance.
Yes.
How do you look at that? Was it a tough time to be on that park board?
It was. I mean, and I understand resources. Here again, resources, but sometimes the partners, you know, we're not in business to really make money, but we don't want to lose a lot of money, because we want to give the people of the city of Peoria a good quality of life here. So the one thing about the Glen Oak fireworks that comes on the 3rd, I had a lot of emails on that one, a lot of calls on that one. I didn't get probably any on the pool at Lakeview. And I can understand why, because community. A lot of the people around that period of time, around that park, they stay out in their yard. Folks come out of town.
Right.
From out of town or some out of the states just to come, and they sit out there. They have a barbecue, peaceful, quiet. They play a little music probably. Families will come from all over. You might not see your neighbor all year, but you'll see them that day.
Yeah.
They'll come out, and then the families come down to the park, and they can see the fireworks from miles around.
Right.
And it's just a good time. It's community. It's camaraderie. It's
Right.
people coming together.
Right.
And they're united. It didn't make a difference what your economic situation was, what color you were. They all came together, and we just couldn't put a price on that.
Right.
For $14,000.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a good chance you can find a sponsor. Or,
It could. I mean,
or I don't know how that's going. We have to.
And I'm sure
hear
if we
about
need
that.
to, there would be a bit. Peoria has a generous community. I mean, the zoo, as you can see, we've got $1 million. Different ones helped put that together. Private dollars. The Zoological Society. When we built the Riverplex, huge sums of money was donated from different individual families throughout the city that were able. So we were, even the Bartons, with Caterpillar, they helped. And I mean, so I know Peoria has a giving heart. I've seen it over the years.
Yep.
They do.
And sometimes we take that for granted.
We do.
Yeah.
We really do. And so, I know I'm still, everybody say, move. You need to move from that South End and just take your family and just leave. Well, all those years I've been there, my kids are moved and grown. They want us to live. But my wife and I, this has been our home. It has sentiment of it. It's not a dollar value anymore.
Right.
It's sentiment. Like I told you earlier, I had a paper route there. Back in the day, I took that paper route.
If you didn't get your paper this morning, call Rob.
But it's my home.
Yeah.
And Peoria, and Steve. So many times, people think that. They see the crime and the shootings and things, and because it's 90 times, 9 times 10 it's people of color that's involved, but they paint the broad picture that it's all of us feel this way. We're all lumped into that that type of image when it's not true. When there's some of us that really still want good, we want good life for our children. We want our kids to grow up and be successful adults contributing to to our communities, and we want to make sure our communities is healthy, vibrant.
Absolutely.
We all benefit, and this is one of the things that I try to get involved with in our community.
But, because I think, and I've covered enough meetings where this has been brought out, that if you think running away from the problem is the answer, you're wrong, because that's not helping anything. Good that you're able to do that, or you have the financial resources, but you still have to be mindful of what you're either leaving from, or what you're afraid of, or however you characterize it.
No, and you're correct. I know at the Park District, when I talk about minority hiring, people get on the edge. They get like, but the numbers aren't there. I brought that issue up there too. Minorities need jobs too. Blacks, they gotta feed their families, and you want to make don't make it hard, so hard for them. They can't get in, they can't work, or you put these boundaries up so high. And when I see people that are not black getting the same opportunity and don't have to go through the same thing, then I have a problem with that. Then they say, well, first thing you're doing, you're throwing the race card. Here you go with the race card. I'm like, oh my God, how do I have to be the race card because I'm asking for a job? That's just it's just not. It's just not good business sense when you have opportunity.
Let me ask you, as someone who has good history here and been involved, was it fair to have Peoria singled out as the worst place for an African American?
Well, unfortunately, that's the case. Some of those figures, I understand, they use a broader, like they said there was 379,000 people here. Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
In Peoria.
Yeah, where are they?
Not that many people. It's they use a broad stroke because they was using the county numbers, and saying something like Peoria only had like 7.3% minorities. That's not true. It's 23.25.
In the city. Yeah.
In the city. So you got to look at but now when it comes to jobs and prison incarceration, and then those of us that do live here and do have to go, and our children do go out and try to get jobs, it is difficult. I mean, some of that I have to go along with.
Okay.
We have our problems. I mean,
and hopefully we're moving. I know it set off a series of meetings and some discussion anyway.
Well,
we'll see where that goes.
Well, I've been. Oh my God! If I go to another one of those sit down, feel good, kumbaya meetings, and then here we are 20 years later and still in the same boat.
Yeah.
I want to see something concrete.
Same people in the room.
Same people, and nothing has changed. So that's not where we need to go. We need to have some concrete things happening. Now I saw a lot of whites there as well. I mean, they were concerned. There's a lot of I have a lot of whites that I've worked with over the years, and they were, they can see, but they don't walk in my shoes.
No,
they have they're I shouldn't say they're privileged, but they have access to certain things that I don't. But they don't see that. I mean, because they're so used to, what they have, they take it for granted. But you come with an African American. I mean, just one day I was up at Bradley. Now, if I have a suit on and a tie, and I have my hat, I'm treated a whole lot different. I really am. One day I got off, I very well, I put on some gym shoes and some my sweats, and I just wanted to run a little bit, and it was altogether different. People were treating me altogether different because I had this hoodie on, and they was like, I got this gray here. Yeah, I got this gray on. The lady got her purse and kind of. I'm like, oh my God. I said, what is this? I'm just trying to run. I got to get some.
I'm running away from you.
Got to get some of this weight off, but I was treated differently.
Yeah,
I really was. But unfortunately, that's the mindset. That's a sociological thing, but. I just hope that we can get together as a community, as a whole. I wish there was no need to have an NAACP. I wish there was no need for those type of organizations. But here it is. Even when I was a kid coming up, we still have those same issues.
Oh, and I remember, the leader of the NAACP for so many years,
John Gwynn.
John Gwynn.
Yes.
I gotta forget John's
I know
name
very well.
That he was kind of a lightning rod.
Yes.
Because and I wasn't on the paper then, and everyone was aware of John because he was in the forefront in any of these school district 150 or wherever it was, jobs, whatever the issue. But I would hear things where people really hated him.
Well, yeah,
because it was like it was his fault, and it was like I never understood that. It was like this is a guy that's coming out to help.
You're making people get out of their comfort zone. He was all he was doing. I benefited from it. I don't think I would have been on the park board if it wasn't for him. I don't think I would have had a job that I have now if it hadn't been for him. Those 4 people, and then I'm doing the same thing. We're coming right behind him with our children and grandchildren because I'm concerned about what they're going to have. I'm getting ready to retire now, but what about my kids? Some of them already left. Because they can't get decent jobs, they got to look out for their children now, their grandchildren. I have 17 of them. Grandchildren now, and 2 great grandchildren. I've been married 41 years, and we both went to Manual. I met her at Manual High School.
Oh, great!
My wife, and so we're very concerned and about our community. Not just my children, but everybody wants a good, decent life for their children. And unfortunately, we have to, when you bring issues up about jobs and equal hiring, and I wish there was a need for affirmative action and those type of things, but unfortunately, our society hasn't reached that point yet.
Well, I think you bring up a good thing, Robert, with that collaboration idea, because who knows what will come of it. I mean, I hate to have another committee in the room, but if that would be a starting point for just getting us off the dime, it would be worth doing.
It would. It definitely would be worth doing. I think it. It probably would. I know it would be.
Yeah.
Because all the resources that they have is combined now. Now you got $10. You got $10, and I got $10. Well, by myself, I only have $10.
Right.
But the 3 of us come together, we got $30.
Yeah.
I can buy a little bit more with that than I could with my 10. Really. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good. We just solved the problem. Here we go. What's the matter with you people? Why haven't you picked up on this? Yeah, Well, I think it's worth talking about, and you know what? We'll have to have you come back and keep us posted on the Park District, but also maybe let's see how this thing shakes out with Kroger's or whoever. Because what I was thinking. And again, in that room, I was talking about at Southside Mission. There were a lot of ideas all around the room. People had ideas.
It was,
and that's what you were there for to speak. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like a smaller store would be the answer, as you say, because population is declined.
It's declining now,
and it would lower overhead.
We looked at when Aldi's left. Some of us on our Southside United for Change neighborhood. Actually, we're some of us are still thinking about going. I wanted to do it then, but they said, "Oh no, okay, all right." We knew Kroger's something was going to be happening. So, co-op. This one community, there was a food desert in South Carolina. I think it was Greensboro. They all got together. That community, they all came together themselves and started a co-op.
Grocery.
Groceries. They had to work very hard at it. It wasn't an easy task. It took some years to get it done. They did it, and they hired the people who lived in the neighborhood, in the community, to work it, to help it. They got good quality food put in there, and people had to buy in.
Right.
And Dave Kaler is talking about that now.
Yes, that I knew that was one of the big ideas.
That was one
meeting.
of the things. And we saw that, and we wanted, I think Martha Ross, who's the president now, and we wanted to go out there and look at their store and see what they got, how they did it, and what they worked. It's called Renaissance Co-op. And
it's been
going
effective
for a while. Yeah, it's been effective. And then over in Washburn, I believe Washburn, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, closer to home here.
They had a issue with not having a grocery store. And I think they got an IGA. One of the gentlemen I was talking with was telling me about what they did. They came in themselves and got them to come in.
The co-op?
It's not a co-op, but I think the people of the town own the store or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I got to get more information on that. But Washburn, they have their own, little store.
Well, that's a good lead. Well, maybe we'll follow up on that too.
Yeah.
So this is where we get our story ideas. We bring our guests in, and then we just take those stories.
But that was told to me, so
we'll check it out. Well, Robert, hey, we're going to follow what's going on down there, because I think, as you've said very eloquently, the South Side is not just the place of problems. It's a vibrant part of the city.
Yes.
And one last thing on that. I had never realized this, and I read it somewhere, but I think a lawyer in town, but she takes pictures of homes in the South End because she likes the architecture. But she wrote a whole thing about how the trolley system allowed the South End to develop, because homes were built in proximity to the trolley line that was, of course, once went through Peoria, which explains the vast area of the South End. And I don't know where all the trolley routes were. That was before our time, really.
Yeah, I see those. Back in the day, though, I see those rails still in the streets sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And they cover them.
They're memories of old.
I was another colleague of mine. He said something to me that was interesting. He said, "Robert, you know what?" He said, "Why don't you live in the mayor's house for a week, and the mayor live in your house for a week, and let them see then what's going on?" Yeah. I said, well, I don't know if he would do that, but he said, "Let him stay in your house for a week, and you live in his house for a week, and see what happens. See what kind of experience he would have then."
He might have a change of just a change of mind on things.
And just everyday living, everyday living. So, but anyway, with that, Steve, I do appreciate you.
It's our pleasure.
Come in and talk about our city. I love Peoria. I love I even love the South Side. I still do, in spite of her problems. It's been my home,
right?
For a lot of years, and I got a lot of memories there. And I know what little time we do all have left here. We certainly want to make it. I would hope that I could have my own life would make it that it was useful to make it easier and better for someone that's coming behind me.
Right.
Just like those that did ahead of me.
Very good. Well, very good, Robert. It's been our pleasure. Robert Johnson of Peoria Park Board has been our guest. And, hey, we'll see you. I want to thank Matt Dayhoff, who's been at the controls here for the podcast. And we'll see you next time.